So if you go on Google and type in best modern bank for iOS, the first article that comes up is from 9 to 5 Mac, talking about SoFi and how it is the best modern bank to have on your smartphone. And as a personal SoFi user, and I've been using it as my main bank for the last 3 or 4 years, I can full-heartedly agree because it has every single thing under the sun from a financial standpoint, from things as simple as a checking and savings account, to a high-yield savings account, to a credit card offering, to investments, to retirement accounts, to loans, and everything in between. So whether you're a beginner or somebody that's already been down their financial path, I definitely recommend checking out SoFi, and this video is here to lay out all the facts and why I use SoFi as my main bank. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So again, I want to talk about SoFi because before SoFi, about 5 years ago, I was pretty financially illiterate, right? Obviously, I knew that more money coming in was good and more money going out was bad, and you wanted to save money and things like that, but I didn't know how to maximize anything, and even from a beginner standpoint, I didn't really understand why things happen on the banking side. So SoFi really helped consolidate everything from a beginner standpoint, and the first thing I did with SoFi was open up a checking and a savings account. And as of right now, the checking and savings account product from SoFi, again, it's absolutely free with no fees or anything, but it's one of the more robust and more competitive ones that we have out there, right? So from a checking standpoint, it's very simple, right? You sign up for a SoFi account, you have a checkings account that gives you 0.5% APY. We'll get into the high yield savings account in a second, but it's very simple. As I mentioned, money comes in and money goes out, and that's how you use your checking account. And you do get a debit card the moment you sign up for your actual checking account, which does get mailed to you. And I usually got it within 2 to 5 business days, and it was very easy to set up. And then you also have your savings account. And right now, the savings account is a high yield savings account from SoFi, giving you 4.6% on your money. So now before I get into all the perks of that savings account, because there are a ton of perks, and I do highly recommend opening one up, in order to really maximize and get the full benefits of a SoFi account, they do want you to set up a direct deposit from your employer. So if you have a payroll software that allows you to divvy up your direct deposit, like let's say you still have your old bank or a legacy bank that you want to keep your money in, like Chase or something like that, you can just divvy up your actual direct deposit very easily and have some of it go to SoFi, and then that will unlock SoFi Plus, which gives you all the perks that I'm about to mention. Because without SoFi Plus, they don't give you the 4.6 APY, they don't give you the 2-day early direct deposit, and there's a couple other things you miss out on, so I do recommend checking that out, and I will leave a link down in the description, which is the best way to support the channel, because if you sign up and set up your direct deposit, you will get $25 after your first direct deposit comes in, which, in my opinion, is easy money. So now that you've set up the direct deposit, you now are eligible for that 4.6% APY. And again, I tell people, especially people that are still in legacy banks like Chase or Bank of America or things like that, let your money work for you a little bit, right? For instance, if you have $10,000 that's just sitting in a Chase account, I would highly recommend moving it to a SoFi account and putting it in that 4.6 APY, because you essentially get $40 a month just by holding that money in the SoFi account, which to me is a nice lunch or 2 lunches or 3 lunches, or again, you could just reinvest it right back in and get that compound interest to start kicking in. But in very simple terms, if you have money in there, SoFi will pay you on a monthly basis and you get to see it in real time as it happens. So 4.6% APY is very competitive, and it's one of the top 2 or 3 banks that has the highest one that also is an actual bank and not just kind of an investment firm. And then the savings account also has something called vaults, and they're very self-explanatory. Those vaults are inside of your savings account, and you can set up as many or as little as you like, or not set up any at all. And it basically allows you to set up a goal or a savings goal and then have recurring deposits coming in. So for instance, I have a recurring deposit for a vault. We're saving up for a house. So 25% of any income that comes in goes directly deposited into that vault. And because of the name vault, you probably think that you can't move that money around, but honestly, if you move it in there and move it out, nothing really changes. It happens instantly. And that's another beautiful thing about the savings and checking account. Since it's all tied together, you can instantly move money between the two of them, between vaults and the savings account, between vaults and the checkings account. So your money isn't just kind of stuck somewhere if you move it for one time. If you move $100 one second, you can move that same $100 the next second immediately. So again, as a SoFi Plus member, you do get your direct deposit up to 2 days early. You also get mobile check deposits. You actually still get a physical checkbook. You're FDIC insured for up to $2 million. It's part of a network of 55,000 ATMs, so no matter where you are, you will be able to find a local ATM if you do need to take out cash with your debit card. And then the only gripe, I guess, that I have with SoFi, and another reason why I still have Chase, is that SoFi does not have cashier's checks. And I know that when it comes to renting or putting down a deposit on a house or putting down a large deposit, some places do ask for cashier's checks, which is, again, we're in 2024, why do I need a cashier's check? But SoFi doesn't do cashier's checks as of now, but you can still get a money order and things like that through another company. Or if you do bank with a more traditional bank like Bank of America or Wells Fargo or a Chase, you can just go to one of those banks and get your cashier's check. So to summarize on the savings and checkings account, just make sure you set up a direct deposit of any amount. And there are some other things where if you do have a direct deposit of $1,000 per month, then you get some additional perks, but only really on the loan side. So if you take an auto loan or a mortgage, or maybe you want to refinance your student loan, then it does help out a little bit because you get a little bit of a discount. on your interest rate. But if you're just somebody that wants to open up a savings and a checking account and take advantage of that high yield savings account of 4.6, which in my opinion is free money, and you also get $25, like I mentioned, if you click the link down below. Now, I don't want to get too detailed with everything that Sofi has to offer because they are an all-encompassing bank. They have everything from that savings and checking account to credit cards to mortgage loans to auto loans to brokerage accounts, retirement accounts. So the list goes on, and I'm going to kind of break down a few of these things just so you guys are fully aware. So the first thing that I did after I set up my checking and savings account, before I got into this whole travel credit card world and the credit card points, I wanted to open up their credit card because it is a zero-fee card that gives you 2% cash back on every purchase. So it is a great catch-all card if you are team cashback. And this credit card really taught me the power of credit cards and what it means to use a credit card, take advantage of it, maximize it, and always pay your balance on time. If anything, I would spend the money and then the very next day I would pay it off. I wouldn't even wait for my statement balance. But it also kind of taught me what credit score meant and credit utilization because there is a live credit score tracker that also goes and ties in with your credit card. So for instance, when I applied for the credit card, they gave me a nice spending limit of $7,000, and I never even got close to that because I would never let it go to my statement balance with any balance whatsoever. So I like to keep it below 3% overall. But another perk of being a SoFi Plus member, so if you do have a direct deposit set up and you take out this credit card, for the entire first year, this is a 3% cashback credit card, which then you can instantly redeem for cashback on the actual website itself. So again, if you guys are looking for a new bank and are getting into the credit card game and just want to learn how a credit card works, this is a great combo. You set up your direct deposit and it's 3% cashback on every single purchase with no limit. So if for some reason you're spending $1 million, you're still getting that 3% cashback. And the reason why it really taught me what the reward program was and how to kind of maximize your points and things like that was because even though it is a 3% cashback card, it goes into a point system that SoFi has. Now, they don't have transfer partners, and this isn't really for travel, but it teaches you that, hey, you get 3% cash back. So if I spend $100, I end up getting 300 SoFi points, and those 300 SoFi points then can be converted to $3. So it just taught me how to kind of play the game a little bit, and it gamified saving money, it gamified spending in a good way, but it gamified spending responsibly, which is the most important thing that I learned being a SoFi member. And then two more things that I just want to lightly touch on. First is going to be on the investing side. So you can actually open up retirement accounts and brokerage accounts through SoFi itself. Now, this is something that I kind of saved until much later. I've only been doing this for about 2 years, but I did open up a Roth IRA retirement account through SoFi. So every single month I put an X amount of money towards my Roth IRA and then invest that money just to make sure that we're good for retirement. And honestly, it's been great. Compound interest is a magical thing if you guys fully understand it. And leave a comment down below if you guys want me to kind of go through exactly what that means, because for me in the beginning, it was very foreign to me and it took a lot of research for me to finally get comfortable on the retirement and the investing side. And then they also have a brokerage account where you can just invest in individual stocks or pieces of stocks. You can also invest in crypto, which is something that I pretty much avoid for the most part. But I do have a brokerage account with them as well. And I only invest in very low risk assets like, Vanguard ETFs and things like that. I don't really mess with the individual stocks or partial stocks unless they're really blue chip like something like Apple and Microsoft. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm just investing mostly for long-term success. I'm not there day trading or anything like that. And I don't think that's what the SoFi platform was made for. But again, if you guys do want to get into that, it is free to open up a brokerage account and you only need $1, and I'll link that down below as well. And the last thing I do want to touch on is their new Relay platform. So Relay is kind of this consolidating platform that you can tie in all your different spending accounts, all your different accounts on outside banks, all your different credit cards, all your loans. So you pretty much go into Relay and you get a snapshot of exactly like what your net worth is, how much you owe on your credit cards, how much you owe on your car payment, how much you owe on your mortgage. And it even gives you a cash flow breakdown to let you know exactly how much money you have coming in this month and how much you spent this month, and if you're on pace, off pace, and compared to the month before. So I think this is a great snapshot to look at. I look at this once a week for about 5-10 minutes just to analyze it, see what I've been spending on, see what I can cut back on, see what I could probably spend more money on the investing side, and just kind of find other ways to maximize my money, because at the end of the day, that is what the name of the game is, right? And SoFi has really gamified, again, in a responsible way, how to manage your money, because the more you invest, the more it compounds over time. And again, it's responsible investing. And then the more you save, the more that compounds over time with the high yield savings account. So all in all, my experience with SoFi has been absolutely amazing, and I don't ever see myself going to a more legacy bank moving forward. And again, I do have my Chase account. I use a Chase checking account from time to time, but even they have minimums. If not, you have to spend $25 a month to be with them, which is very annoying, versus on the SoFi side, I've never been charged any fee whatsoever. No late fees, no transaction fees, no account fees. As long as I pay my card on time, there's no minimum payment fees and things like that. So to each their own. And then something else that SoFi offers, which is the last thing I'll mention for this video at least. And like I said, leave a comment down below if you guys want me to go more in depth on all the different products that SoFi has, because I'd be more than happy to do so. But so again, if you set up your direct deposit, you do get this perk of basically having a financial advisor at your fingertips that you can get on a phone call with, get on a Zoom call. And I only recently, about 6 months ago, took advantage of this because I thought to myself for the very beginning, I was like, I don't really want to talk to somebody. I don't really want to deal with it. But again, if you have an advisor telling you what to do, something that does this day to day, it really helps out in kind of managing what you want moving forward. Whether it's a year down the line, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, it all depends on what you're looking forward to from a financial goal standpoint, but having an advisor there that's absolutely free, right? They don't take a cut of anything you make. There's no minimum fee to spend with them. There's no hourly rate. You just talk to them as a SoFi Plus member, and it's 100% free. But again, it's a free service that they offer to help you out from a financial literacy standpoint, which is absolutely amazing. And it's something that I think a lot of other companies should adopt just to educate the user and educate the customer on how to manage their money and not overspend and not get into consumer debt. And that's just my opinion. So that's my roundup of Sofi Bank. Again, the Sofi checking and savings account alone make it worth it. Set up your direct deposit on there. I'll leave a link down below for you guys to check out, and that's a great way to support the channel, like I mentioned earlier, because I get a little kickback as well, but nobody's paying me to say this. This is just, again, me using Sofi for about 3 to 5 years and just seeing how my financial trajectory has changed just by using this bank versus when I used something like Bank of America way back in the day, my financial trajectory was completely different. But again, over time, you start to learn things and it starts to kind of make sense overall, and it turns into a really fun game of how you can really maximize every single dollar that you earn and every single dollar that you spend. So let me know in the comment down below, have you heard of Sofi? Are you a Sofi member? What do you think of Sofi? And if you're not, what other banks are you currently using to kind of really maximize your dollar, right? Again, there's nothing wrong with the legacy banks. They do have their own versions of perks like brick and mortar stores and things like that. That's one thing Sofi doesn't have. There's no brick and mortar locations for Sofi. But again, if you're just looking for a modern bank that you manage on your phone or on their website and has everything under the sun, then Sofi is something that you should definitely consider. But let me know in the comment down below if there's any other ones. I know that there's Wealthfront and things like Ally that offer a little bit more from an APY standpoint, but the simplicity in the UI and just the user experience of Sofi alone is worth it to me in my opinion. But that's going to do it for this video. If you made it to the end, leave a little credit card in the comments down below so that I know you made it to the end. And if you guys want to watch some other videos like this, click on one of these right here. Or if you want to see me compare credit cards like the Hyatt card versus the Marriott card, which surprisingly the Marriott card is one that I would go for, click on this video right here. But until next time, I'm Fernando. Happy banking, everybody. Peace.